I've seen a few of these comments from you saying Gal talk. For those of you who do not know, Gal means non-Muslim, and this you've commented on my videos talking about mental health or medication for mental health disorders. I wanted to tell you a story about a friend of mine who asked me to speak to a family member of theirs in Somalia because there were concerns about his mental health. This family member was being chained to his bed every single night because of fear that he would run away or harm himself or others due to his erratic behavior. I spoke to him and his family, and within even a few minutes, it became quite evident that this boy was suffering from a manic episode and that he likely had a diagnosis of bipolar disorder. When I asked them about whether they'd ever had any blood tests done, they said no, because they were told that it was a mental disorder, so he did not need any blood tests. And he'd been put on 2 medications used to try to stabilize his mood. But the doses that he was on were tiny. This medication was not touching him, and he'd been on it for years. When he'd get into these manic episodes, he'd run away from home, and he'd do things that were really risky to himself and others. So every single night, they chained him to his bed. This came from a lack of understanding about mental disorders, about the possibility that physical illnesses could potentially trigger mental health illnesses, and a lack of knowledge about psychiatric medication. And so when I'm getting comments like this, speaking about Gal talk, acting as if this is not issues that we have within Somalia is shocking to me, because it's not that these issues don't exist, it's that these issues are pushed down. And a lot of families are struggling and just trying to manage as best as they can, and often not discussing it because there's still so much shame in the community about these disorders. So I will continue to speak about these conditions. I will continue to talk about medication, and you can sit here and think that this is Gal talk. That's your absolute prerogative, but I hope that you do educate yourself a bit more on the topic before